Hi, all you SPMEs out there. Today's question has 3 answers, and the third answer is a secret as to how you could do much better than the average number of sales. So, the question that was sent in today was, how many books do self-published authors sell? Now, this is a very common question that when you're first getting started and writing books or considering whether you want to self-publish, you're going to want to know what is a reasonable number of books that are going to be coming through that you're going to be able to move on through. Because let's be honest, writing a book is not easy. Putting a book together and then paying to get the cover done and getting editing and getting the tools necessary to get the formatting right and all of these things. And then finally you put the book on the market. It's your baby. And then what? It sells a couple copies? Is this really worth the effort? So this can sometimes give you the idea there. And then on the other side of it, maybe you've already put a book on the market and you're simply not seeing the sales that you would like to see against the book, and you're wondering, is this really all that I'm going to be able to get? Am I doing better or worse than the average author? And that's another common question, and we're going to be answering all of these questions in today's video. This is Chris Baird from selfpublishingmadeeasynow.com, where self-publishing doesn't have to be so hard. Click the subscribe bell if you would like for me to make more videos just like this one, and check out below in the comments and grab a copy of my completely free self-publishing checklist, which we had a little bit of issue on the downloads, but I fixed that today. And so go ahead and take a look and grab that while the copies are still available. I swap it out from time to time. I don't know how long I'll keep this particular checklist up. So you're definitely going to want to check out this free checklist that you can get below in the description. So, how many books do self-published authors sell? Well, let me tell you a little bit about my story. When I first got started back in 2015, and I was starting with my very first book, and I put it out, I was completely not sure of what the answer to this question was. So I put the book out there. I did the best that I could. I followed a basic recipe for how exactly books should be and how exactly you can optimize some aspects of it without completely following any of the rules. I mean, I was getting so much information and so much confusion from different directions. And that was one of the things that made me come to the desire to try to help others break it down into easier steps as opposed to just being flooded with too much information, too many courses with too many different methods and styles and things. It was so confusing. But I came through all of that and I put a book out there. Now, what happened with my book? I started seeing 1 or 2 sales here and there. It wasn't anything that would compensate. I was wondering how many months or years will it take me to even get my money back that I've invested in the book, on the covers, that I invested on the editing, all of these different aspects. I mean, I was seeing money coming back, but at a slow pace, a very, very slow pace. And I was thinking, is this as good as it can get? Am I not able to do better than this? Because if this is as good as it gets, this is lousy, and I really don't see a way that I'm in the long run going to be able to earn a decent salary off of the money that's coming out to keep the company going. So that was my thing until I learned that it doesn't have to be so complicated and that you can really break it down into simple steps to get your book optimized. But we're going to get a little bit into that in today's secret answer of the day. So, how many books do self-published authors sell? Let's get into the answers. So the answer is, at least according to some marketing experts, the answer is 250 books on average for your self-published author. Now, this is terrible news because the reality is nobody is this average self-published author. You have these huge bestsellers that are selling millions of copies, and then you have a lot of people who are just selling maybe 5 to 10 books or something. But when you average it all together, you get 250 books a year, and an average money that's being earned during the lifetime of the book of about $500. And this comes out to the average author on Amazon making about $1,000 a year. And that's about it, which is unbelievably, terribly bad. Now, maybe these authors are like super happy with that because they didn't have much expectations. But if with only some small changes, breaking it down and keeping things simple, they could have made a lot more money than that, and perhaps you can too. That's what I'm here today to try to help you do. And that's coming in with our third answer, which is the secret answer of the day. So if you break these rules you're going to start seeing your money go down. And the most important of everything is we write our books for hungry markets. That's right. We're not creating brand new markets. We're finding underserved markets. Now, I use a program called KDSpy, which you can find below in the comments, and this is the one that I use in order to make sure that the books that I'm putting out are coming to markets that actually are hungry for those books, for the books that are on the markets. Not many books, but lots of people buying them. And that is the key to finding the right market. And a tool like KDSpy is the perfect way to go about finding it, because then you would just say, show me all of the books that are showing up on Amazon search for a given keyword, and then you would see how many of those are in the top 100,000 on the BSR, basic sales rank, and that would be like a sale a day is what they're getting. And then what we would do is we would just divide the total number of books that exist for that keyword divided by the total number in the top 100 books that are showing up in the top 100,000. And that would give us a ratio that would give us the idea. Now, if the book is under a 30, then that would tell me this is probably a good book, a good market to publish to. People are buying lots of these books, but there's really not that many books available in that market. So this is one of those key strategies that we're going to want to follow to make sure that we can make as much money as possible. If you choose the wrong market, you will make no money. It's almost impossible to make money. Do not think you're going to create a market that doesn't exist. That is a losing strategy, and you become part of the average or below average publishers on Amazon. So the next one is you need to optimize your book. You need to make sure the manuscript is well done. I use a program called Uto, which you can find below in the description. Makes it super easy to put that book together in the perfect format that will work on EPUB, Kindle, your print-on-demand copies, all of those. So you want to optimize it. You want to make sure the cover's high quality. I use Fiverr to do it. It's just fine. Down below in the description, you can see who I use on Fiverr to go about making the book covers looking great at $20 or less. No problem there. Then we're going to have our market. So we want to make sure we market the book. We're running ads against it on Amazon Ads, checking those daily and making sure that we're getting at least a cost of 40%. Or 50% or less, so that we're at least breaking even on any of the sales that we're doing. And then we're going to distribute to the max number of channels that we have. We're putting it out onto all sorts of networks. And the thing is and you're putting it in all different formats, which was the final point there. So it's going to be audio, paperback, hardback, Kindle, and EPUB. And so all of these, and then they'll be distributed to all the different channels. So literally anywhere on the internet that you go, you want people to find your books so that they can buy the books. And this is the whole point of it. You don't know where they're going to sell and in what format people want to buy your books in. And so the way that we solve this issue is that we simply don't guess which format they want. We put it in all of the formats, in all of the locations, and then what happens is it trickles. You get a little here, a little there, and then we put out more books. You follow this strategy, you're going to be selling more than 250 books on average, copies of a given book on average. What you're going to do is you're going to find yourself selling 1,000, 10,000. It starts to jump. It's unbelievable. I was shocked when I realized all of the mistakes I've been making as a result of listening to all of the noise that was coming in from so many people giving contrary advice on how exactly to go about self-publishing. I know they meant well, but their courses are just so confusing, as all of these modules, module 1, 2, 3, up to 59, and each one contains 30 individual lessons. It's just so confusing, and then they want to charge you $3,000 for it or whatever, and I don't know. It's not something that I found useful. I found it very confusing, demotivating, and it causes most people to never actually even get their books published as a result. So I would stay away from courses that do that to you, that overload you, as opposed to breaking things down and keeping it simple. So, how many books do self-published authors sell? Why don't you let me know what you found? How many copies have you sold of your average book? Let me know below in the comments. I answer every single comment that is sent in. And check up above me here for my other answers to your self-publishing questions. Thanks.